I'm Edward Rasmus, and this is my first full weather briefing. Let's start off with a surface analysis chart. We have a low pressure system in Washington, low pressure system on the border of California and Arizona, high pressure system in Arizona, low pressure system in Utah, high pressure system in New Mexico. We got a low pressure system northern Colorado into Wyoming, and there's a warm front extending southeast from there into Kansas and into Oklahoma. And then just south of that, we got a low pressure system in northern Texas. We have a high pressure system in the Gulf Coast, and we got a stationary front starting in Illinois, going into West Virginia, into North Carolina, where it becomes a cold front, going up through Virginia into the East Coast, into Maine, and then into Canada, where it becomes an occluded front. And then there's a warm front extending to the east. And at the end of the occluded front is a low pressure system. We have another low pressure system in eastern Wisconsin, and looks like it's got a stationary front to the east of that and a low pressure system to the west, which turns into a stationary front into South Dakota, into Montana, swinging up into Canada. And then right above North Dakota, we got another high pressure system. On our low level chart, you can see off the west coast we have IFR conditions and some MVFR conditions. And on the east coast, from Florida all the way up to New York, looks like we have MVFR conditions. And then right there, Tennessee and Alabama, we have MVFR. Freezing level is 12,000 feet. So it looks like right where North Dakota, Canada, Minnesota meet, swinging down through Wisconsin over Lake Michigan, and then back up New York and into Canada. We have another freezing level down in the southwest at 16,000 feet. The high level chart, I'm going to focus over the United States. On the east coast, we have isolated embedded cumulonimbus at 43,000 feet, falling below 10,000 feet. Texas, isolated embedded cumulonimbus at 38,000 feet, falling below 10,000 feet. Our tropopause is at 50,000 feet down in California, and it goes, this looks like lowest level is 34,000 feet, just above the eastern United States. And just above the Great Lakes, we have a low pressure system there. Looks like that actually is 31,000 feet. We have turbulence over Pennsylvania into New York, 43,000 feet, falling below 10,000 feet. Here in the satellite view, we don't have a whole lot of cloud activity going on. There are scattered cirrus clouds over parts of the East Coast, and then out into the Atlantic Ocean. Looks like there's some thicker clouds over Arkansas and Tennessee. We got a little thicker clouds. Iowa and Nebraska, some clouds there, and the Four Corners, New Mexico, Colorado, Arizona, and Utah. And this is the infrared showing the same thing as in the visible, but a little more clear as to the clouds. On the water vapor chart, you can see a dry area coming in from the southwest and in California, Nevada, and then right into Utah, Colorado, and Wyoming. We got some moisture, and then there's some more moisture into Kansas, Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and we got a little dry feature starting in northern West Virginia, southern Indiana, and then moving itself east into the coastal waters of New Jersey and New York, and then pushing north. On the national radar, we can see precipitation falling into eastern Nebraska, into Iowa, over Lake Michigan, Georgia, a little bit in Tennessee, West Virginia. On the convective outlook, we've got scattered severe thunderstorms, western Kansas, western Nebraska. Outside of that, we've got isolated severe thunderstorms. On the segment air map, they're showing you the locations of the thunderstorms, the top of those clouds, wind speed, and precipitation expected. The pilot reports are showing moderate to light turbulence over the midwestern to southern states and moderate to light icing as well. Here in the local METARs, they're showing favorable VFR conditions, winds out of the north, northwest, 5 to 10 knots. Sky conditions are looking good, scattered to clear around Minnesota, southern part of North Dakota. Up in our neck of the woods, we're looking at about overcast to broken. The local radar isn't really showing much. It looks like just some ground clutter. Look at some of the past METARs here at the most recent one, 02 at 1853 Zulu. We have 350 wind direction, 12 gusting 16 knots, more than 10 miles visibility, broken at 4100 and broken at 15,000. Temperature 21 degrees Celsius, dew point 13 degrees Celsius, altimeter 30.10 inches of mercury. This is the national forecast, low level. Looks like the IFR conditions are going to remain the same out in the west coast. The freezing level is going to move up a little more in California at 16,000 feet. The east coast is cleared up a little bit, but it's going to get worse in the next 24 hours with a lot of MVFR and more IFR conditions stretching from the northern east coast down to Florida and to the southern states. On our high-level charts, you can see just south of Arizona, some isolated embedded cumulonimbus at 45,000 feet, dropping below 10,000 feet. The Midwest to the southern Great Lakes, isolated embedded thunderstorms, 40,000 feet. We got some turbulence over the northeast, just under the jet stream. Turbulence is at 37,000 feet, and the jet stream is at 30,000 feet, and there's also, oh, my mistake, 34,000 feet. 110 knots winds. Then right below that, we have another jet stream at 41,000 feet, 90 knot winds. And off the coast of Virginia, isolated thunderstorm, 43,000 feet. The troposphere looks like it's 300, flight level 300, right over the low pressure system there to the northeast of the Great Lakes. Down in Louisiana, I got 50,000 feet, and north of Washington and Montana, 45,000 feet. Here we have our air mets forecast for the next 12 hours. The entire coastal water, western coastal waters are IFR. We got some turbulence in Colorado and Wyoming. We got turbulence upstate New York into Maine, and IFR conditions off Maine, Massachusetts, and New York waters. Freeze levels coming into Minnesota and Wisconsin, it's 12,000, and in the southwest, it's 16,000. Here in the local area forecast, eastern North Dakota, we got scattered 5,000, 01 Zulu, scattered Cirrus, outlook VFR. On the northern Minnesota, we got broken 4,000, tops at 7,000 feet, 00 Zulu, scattered 4,000 to 5,000, outlook VFR. Looking at the Grand Forks TAF, from the 2nd at 18 Zulu to the 3rd at 18 Zulu, 3507 knots, more than 6 miles visibility. Sky conditions scattered at 3,000 and broken at 5,000. On the 2nd at 2300 Zulu, the wind's going to be at 050, 8 knots, more than 6 miles visibility, and scattered at 20,000. On the 3rd at 0900 Zulu, it'll be 130 at 5 knots, 6 miles visibility, and broken at 20,000. Our winds aloft forecast be valid from 06 to 18 Zulu, and the temperature is going to be negative above 24,000. And the last slide here is graphical forecast for aviation. Gives you a general outlook of what to expect, and that's it for my weather brief for today. Thank you.